Hey, my craft loving friend, are you ready to bust into some adorable bee teen home decor DIYs? Well, today I bring you a compilation video of my favorite bee teen DIYs I have done in my channel so far. Grab your favorite beverage, your crafting supplies, and let's get started. DIY number one. For this DIY, I used two of these candle holders that I got about a year ago at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them with my folk art black chalk paint. Then I'm coming in with this ribbon that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's like a honeycomb ribbon, and I'm going to put it around each one of these. I cut a section that was big enough to go all the way around, and I'm using the first one as a template to create ribbon for the second one. I just went over and I saw exactly where I wanted it. I put it towards the bottom, and the first thing that I did in order to do this the best I could is I just tacked down the first end down first, and then I wrapped the ribbon around and I glued the other one on top of the other ribbon end. Then I took this bee printed ribbon from the Dollar Tree and created a little bow. I'm just doing like a cross between the two ribbon ends and then cinch it in the middle, and I'm going to just go ahead and tie it with a piece of yarn. I remove the excess twine or yarn in this case, and I'm going to go ahead and dovetail my ends. All that is just folding the end of your ribbon in half and then cutting upwards to create that little dovetail effect. Then I'm going to glue it right on top of where that joined ribbon is to cover up where I put the glue there. And I use one of these bees that I got in a pack from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue this bee right in the middle of my bow. That bee was really trying to escape, guys. I couldn't hold it in my hand. Finally I got it, and I just peeled off the paper that came with a little tack, and I am going to put some hot glue and put it right down onto the middle of my bow. And I repeated that with both of my candle holders. And I found these honeycomb candles at the Dollar Tree. I was so happy. They were perfect for this. So I'm just going ahead and unwrap the plastic off of them, and I'm just wrapping some yarn around them. I think I used about 4 passes or 4 revolutions through it. I tied a double knot, and then I'm going to cut off the excess, and I'm going to try to do this in 2 different sides, but this is how it looks so far. Put it in my candle holder, make sure that everything is nice and straight, and I'm going to take these bees. These bees I got from Amazon. They're a bit smaller than the ones from the Dollar Tree, and they have like a brighter yellow to them, but they have pretty much the same thing. They have the same tack in the back, so I used it the same way I did the big bees, but I'm adding these to the ends of my yarn that are flowing down, and just making sure to place them in a way that they will be looking, towards the front instead of the back. And I repeated this process with both of the ends of this yarn. Then I took one of the big bees, and I'm going to glue it right on the middle of where the tie is, right there where the candle is, making sure that everything is nice and glued on. I'm just reinforcing the bee at the bottom there, making sure that it doesn't spin around, so everything is looking the way that I want it to. I repeated the same thing with both candle holders, and here they are all completed, guys. I am in love with these. They are so cute. Let me know what you think. DIY number 2. For this project, I used one of these warmers from the Dollar Tree. I thought it looked just like a honeycomb, and I took my black folk art paint, and I'm going to completely cover the inside of it using that. Friends, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. It is free and it means the world to me. For the top of the flower I'm using some maize chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm completely covering the top part along with the side, like all the area where you see the blue right now. I did it 2 coats, and that's how it ended up so far. Now I'm coming in with this brown paint. It's called brown oxide, and I'm using a small brush. I'm trying to leave a specific pattern or a specific texture onto this that it resembles a beehive. So I'm just painting it in the opposite of how the little grain that you see on the piece is, in order to achieve that look. And I just use small strokes as I was doing this, making sure to have variation in color. And you already know I'm extra, so I had to also paint the bottom, even though no one will see it, but I will see it. I know it was there. So we are gonna go ahead and do that. And I did about 2 coats, but the second coat I did it kind of light. It was just to touch up some areas. I did want that white to also peek through. And this is how it ended up. I am loving this texture, guys. Let me know what you think. Here I'm coming in with some more paint, just touching up some places, just making sure everything is nice and cohesive. And I did lighten up a little bit the yellow actually in order to create variation in color. Then I'm coming in with the brown oxide, and I just brushed it on the middle of the flower there to create a little warmer and not so dark brown. And then I'm coming in with a brown oxide with a small paintbrush, and then just painting the little ridges of the flower, and this is how it ended up. Here I'm adding a combination of bees. I'm using the bees, the bigger bees from the Dollar Tree. I'm gluing it on different areas just to make it look like just bees hanging out around the beehive on a Sunday morning like they do, you know. So just trying to put them in a random way, and put some small ones, some big ones. So, you know, the family just hanging out on Sunday on the beehive pretty much. And here it is, but I'm not done yet. I'm gonna take some of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree, also the honeycomb ribbon, and I'm going to put it right there when I just showing you right there, the neck of both these pieces. I cut a piece big enough to be able to glue on there. I glued on the first portion, put it down, and I'm going to wrap it all around. Due to the hole there, you will see that there was a little overlapping, so I just trimmed the ribbon a little bit there. I wanted to make sure that that form there was intact, and then I angled the other piece of ribbon in order for the beehive opening to remain intact. Just stuck it down with a little bit of hot glue. Took some more ribbon from the Dollar Tree with the bee prints, and I'm going to go ahead and create a bow. I just did it the same way I usually make the bows, guys. Every video, most of the times I do this bow. It's just the quickest and simplest one. I put it on there, but I wasn't too sure that I liked it that way, so I came back with my honeycomb ribbon and created a bow for that one as well. And I still wasn't sure which one I was going to use, so I went ahead and created the honeycomb bow as well. As if I didn't use it for this one, I would probably use it for another one of my DIYs here. So I just went over and did that, and I'm keep going back and forth, you know. Am I gonna use the black, the white and with the bees, or the yellow one? So, you know, I pretty much just made both of the bows and sat for a while and contemplated, and then decided what I used. Which one will you pick? I went with the yellow honeycomb one. I just felt that it just looked more symmetrical with the colors that I had going on, and then the white will just bring a different interest to it, and I wanted the beehive to be the focal point, not so much the bow. Friends, I am done with this one. This is how it looks so far. It is so stinking cute, guys. I love this one. This looks so delicate and adorable. Let me know how you like it. Another idea will be to put a battery operated candle. Let's go with DIY number 3. For this project, I'm using this bee sign that I found at the Dollar Tree. I was so excited when I found it. easy DIY. Just paint your frame in black chalk paint and reposition your picture back onto the frame, and this is what it looks so far. It just brings it out a little bit better. And of course, I'm not done. I took some ribbon and I'm going to create a tiny little bow. I want to just do a awareness bow, cinch it in the middle, tie it with a little, I'm going to start calling this the lolly bow because I do this a lot. And I just dovetailed my ends of my bow, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue it right there in the corner. And then I took one of these little beads also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to just glue it right on top of the bow, right in the middle. And then just like that, ta-da! This one is done. Look how cute it is, guys. It's so simple, yet so adorable. Easy to make, under 5 minutes or less. Let me know what you think of this one. DIY number 4. For this one, I use one of these foam balls. I got these at the Dollar Tree. I got these, and I'm also going to be using that pail that you see right there. The first thing I did, I opened up a hole with my skewer, and I'm going to take some of this 4-card chalk paint, and I'm going to completely paint that. Then you see coming in with the little pail, and I'm going to take some hot glue, put it in the bottom of my pail, and take a piece of floral foam from the Dollar Tree in there, and I'm going to go ahead and stick my dowel in there, but it was too long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use little snips there, and I'm going to just cut a section so I can get exactly the height that I'm hoping for this project. I stuck it onto the foam board, put it to the side, and let it dry. Once it was dry, I'm going to come in with some of this brown oxide from Apple Barrel, and I'm just going to go ahead and paint the dowel so that will be nice and finished as well. Then I came in with these yellow roses from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and remove them off of their stems. And the first thing is I position one at the top of my bow, of my foam ball, and I'm just gonna keep adding flowers on there. First I added just the flowers, but I didn't have enough of them, so I ended up having to rearrange things at the end. But here you can see what the idea is of just creating, just putting the flowers together. If you want to just use just the flowers and no greenery, you will need 4 picks to do this. Or if you like the greenery, you can use 3 picks, and then just make sure that you space out your flowers enough for you to add the greenery in between and also have that foam board covered. I used the paint on the foam ball just in case you can see it through, but you couldn't. But you can also have some spaces and you'll be able to see the black, and it will probably complement the look of the colors you have going on in this project. As you see here, I was trying to just do the flowers, but I didn't have enough flowers to cover the entire bottom of my arrangement. So I went with the greenery. I do have to say I do love the pop of green in between this yellow. It really brought everything to life. But here there are 2 options, with the greenery or without the greenery, whichever floats your boat. Here you can see how I had to rearrange these flowers. I had to take some flowers off and space them out a little bit, further apart from each other, and add some greenery in between. And I do have to say I really do love this look as well. Friends, please like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps my channel grow and lets YouTube know that you really enjoy my content, and it will push it out to more people. So please don't forget to like if you're not ready to commit and subscribe. And to give this a little bit more stability, I am adding another piece of floral foam. Put my topiary back in, and now I'm taking some of this Spanish moss, and we are going to go ahead and use this to cover and finish the top right there. I just added a little bit of hot glue to keep things in place, just in a couple of spots, and then pressed everything down in order to have a nice finished look. But I'm not finished yet. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of these little bees to this also. I just put a few in some of the rose petals just to, you know, bring that bee look onto the flowers as well. And guys, this came adorable. I love this one. It just screams happiness and spring, and it's just beautiful, guys. Let me know what you think. This one is becoming my favorite the more I look at it. Let me know how you feel about this one. DIY number 5. For this one, guys, I used one of these beehive reed forms from the Dollar Tree and some of this yarn also from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing I did is that I added the yarn. I tied it on one of the corners, make sure to make I made 3 knots to it, one on the first side, and then I flipped it over and then I double knotted it. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess yarn, and we are going to start wrapping this onto the reed form. But first there was a little knot on there, so I had to unravel it, and I didn't want to use the entire, you know, bale, or I don't know what you call it, the whole bunch of the yarn there. So I cut a piece off, roll it onto my hands, I tied it, and I just left a small amount out, so I was able to work in small sections, and it will be easier for me to maneuver this yarn throughout each of the holes. At junction points like this one, I just wrapped very closely on there, overlapping in places in which it was necessary to make sure that I covered the yellow. And then I flipped it over to the other piece that I'm going to be wrapping next. Make sure to make that turn really nice and tight, and add some more. And here's another jointing point, a little bit slower. I wrap it to the other side and make sure that that junction is completely covered with the yarn. Wrapped it onto the side that I'm going to be wrapping next. Again, in the beginning, very close together, overlapping a little bit as necessary. And then here we are going to town with this thing. Just keep wrapping it until you're completely done. And here's how it looks. Then I came in with this dish towel from the Dollar Tree. I got this one last year, and it is perfect for this, guys. It just completely, the whole thing fits on there perfectly. So I just laid it down on it. And the first thing that I'm going to do is add a little bit of hot glue to the top of my beehive there. I did the entire circle and pressed it down where I want it to be positioned. Once that dried, I flipped it over, removed the towel from the other pieces, and I'm just going to completely cover this. I'm going to keep doing this for every single one of those pieces on the reed form until this is completely covered. A quick tip, just be mindful on how much hot glue you're adding onto your reed form to avoid this issue I'm having here. A little bit extra hot glue that I had to fight what to get off. Then I took my utility knife and I just cut all the excess off, and I was left with this beautiful beehive. Then I took some of this rope from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just wrapping it on itself like that, just using hot glue, and just kept going in circles until I got to the size that I was hoping for. I'm gonna be using this for the opening to my beehive. So here I'm making sure that that's the size that I need, and once I'm content with it, I took my scissors and cut it on an angle in order to have this look like a perfect circle. Then I took some fire to it, and I am burning off all the little straggly hairs. Then I took some of that yarn, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the rope, but I'm using like 4 strands at a time, and I am just hot gluing as I go, trying to have it fall flat as I'm doing this. I just want this to give it an extra detail of the opening of the beehive, so it looks like it's dark in there kind of effect. Once I was happy with it, I'm gonna just go ahead and do the same thing. Cut my twine on an angle, and I'm going to just hot glue the end, making sure everything is nice and circular. And this is all finished here. And now I'm going to just make sure that this is the positioning that I want. And then I took hot glue and placed it right onto there and pressed it down until it was dry. Now we got to make this pretty. So I took some of this burlap ribbon that I got from Carolina Pottery for a trip that I made over there. If you want to see that video, it's also in my channel. I'm going to link it in the top of my video here. And I'm going to use this burlap ribbon and these Dollar Tree ribbons as well. And I'm going to just create my first messy bow. So I'm just, picking different colors that play together and cutting my ribbons to size, dovetailing the ends, and doing the crisscross effect until I was content with how everything fell in place. Then I take a zip tie and slide it right underneath of that bow, and I'm going to just leave it on there loosely. I'm not going to tighten it quite yet. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everything looks nice. I can able to see all my ribbons, and then once I'm happy and I have cinched it the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. And then I took a piece of burlap and I'm going to use it to cover that zip tie. I went over and I just glued it on. Then I took another zip tie and I was going to use it to attach this to my reed form. And this is the moment I realized I screwed up. So I had to unstick everything off because I was supposed to first put my new zip tie onto the other zip tie, so I was able to attach this. So I had to thread it through my burlap, the last piece of burlap that I added on there, and making sure that I was able to have the pipe cleaner on the, not the pipe cleaner, the zip tie on the back there. And once everything was nice and secure and the right place it's supposed to be, then I put that piece of burlap over the zip tie again, making sure not to glue it. Now I took my scissors and I just bow a little hole on the fabric, exactly where one of the brackets were, because I'm going to use that to hold my bow in place. I threaded the zip tie through the holes I created, and then I went over and zip tied it on the back and tightened it up. I fluffed off my bow, made sure that it was looking the best. Now I took this fly that I got from the Dollar Tree. I got this a while ago, and I took this mace paint and biddity-boddity-boo, I'm going to turn it into a bee. I simply painted some yellow stripes onto the bee using some of the indentation that had helping me to have it nice and symmetrical, and I just kept leaving spaces of the black on there. And I did that first using the mace color, and I was just thinking I was just doing the head and those other two top pieces, but I just felt no, we need to do one in the neck area as well. So I painted another stripe of yellow right on there, and I think that finished it pretty much, the look, the transformation I should say, from fly to bee. Then I took some of my black chalk paint and I'm just putting it onto a very tiny paintbrush, and I'm just sliding it sideways onto the ridges that the wings have, just to bring that effect onto the wings as well. And here it is how it's looking. Look at that. I love that. Then I took one of these words from the Dollar Tree. I got it from the fall collection, and my mace color. I went ahead and painted the welcome sign, and I didn't quite like the tone it gave it. So I took this yellow paint that I got from the Dollar Tree and I did a coat over it just to give it more pop of color. Then I'm like, you know what? I can use a little bit darker on the V as well. So I added some of my maize color, but I added a little bit of the paint from the Dollar Tree, and that made it a little bit brighter. So I painted over my B and my welcome sign, and once everything dried, I took my B and I stuck it right on there. And here is my wreath all completed, guys. I love this thing. It is so cute. I love those colors. I couldn't wait to make wreaths. I have another wreath in mind. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get to it this season. I'm gonna try to, but this one is so adorable. Let me know how you like it and which one is your favorite of all the DIYs that I created for you today. As always, let's start with this wood round, this little wood circle from Dollar Tree, and this tote bag from Dollar Tree. We're going to go ahead and remove that tag and the jute cord off of the board. And then we're going to go ahead and take that wood round and we're going to tuck it inside of the bag. Just right there, making sure that the picture in the bag is right at the center of the wood round. Then we're going to go ahead and cut off that excess. We are going to keep the rest of the bag because I'm sure I can use it for a different DIY. We can even use that top trim. Now it's time to go ahead and take some Mod Podge and put it all over the front of this wood round. I just make sure to be generous with the amount because I want this to soak through the fabric of the tote bag. Here I was being very careful to keep the fabric nice and centered. I'm going to make sure that everything is in place before I go ahead and smooth the fabric right down onto the Mod Podge. Here I'm just making sure to remove any bubbles and any wrinkles. Here I'm making sure that it fits nicely with that round on, and I'm going to come in here in all the edges that are still left in and add in another layer of Mod Podge to make sure that those edges stay down. Then I'm going to add Mod Podge to the top as well to seal everything in and to protect the fabric as well. And while this dries, I'm going to take this circle from Dollar Tree as MDF and I'm going to paint it with one coat of my Full Card Ridgeback paint. And while that dries, I'm going to create a hanger. So I'm taking these tan color beads from this set that I got from Dollar Tree that has all these different colors. They're part of the Easter decor section. And then I'm using some black beads that I also got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use them on here. So I'm adding a little bit of tape to the edge of my jute cord. This is the same cord that I removed from the wood round in the beginning. And I'm just going to go ahead and thread my beads on there. I used 3 beads to 1 black until I had my hanger just like this. Now that this is nice and dry, I'm going to take my emery board and just as I would use with some paper, I'm going to go ahead and sand off the excess fabric from the edges of the wood round. Friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, please don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. And I would love to have a happy and healthy relationship with you, so please go ahead and subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. And here is the wood round all nice and sandy. Then I took my weeder and I'm going to go ahead and poke the holes that are in the wood round right back into place. So I'm able to go ahead and tie my hanger. I just added a little bit of glue to the edge of the jute cord and I'm going to go ahead and tie tightly against the wood round. And I'm going to take the beads and put them through the 2 pieces of twine, the tail and the body of it, so I have a nice seamless look. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process with the other side. Now it's time to go ahead and attach the round piece right here on top of it. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that excess piece of cord. But of course, I'm going to go ahead and tuck it into the rest of the beads as I did with the previous one, just so I have a nice seamless look and I don't have no tail sticking out. and I wanted to make sure that I had nice leeway there to move my things around. So now I'm just going to take a combination of hot glue and gel super glue to attach this onto the wood round, and that is it. Look how cute that turned out. Let me know what you think. All right, let's head on over to the next inspiration. For this one, I'm going to use these jars that I got from Dollar Tree and these candle holders that I got from Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and make sure that my candle holders is nice and clean, and we're going to go ahead and add some E6000 to the raised edges of the candle holders. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the stickers from the bottom of the jars. And we're going to go ahead and place that candle holder to the bottom of the jar. And we're going to repeat this with the second one as well and let them sit and dry overnight. The next day, we're going to come in with some of these bee little lights from the Dollar Tree, and I have 2 sets. I went to go ahead and wind them around my hand, trying to keep them at different levels, and then I'm going to put that power bank, I'm going to stick it to the lid. But I'm going to make sure to stick the side that does not have the screw to change the batteries. And I repeated this process with both of the jars. As you see here, I had a little bit of a struggle keeping them from all falling to the bottom, so I wind up the cable closest to around the power bank, and then I screwed the cap back in place. So I had the bees sit at different levels so they look like they were flying around inside of the jar. And of course, I repeated the same process with the other jar as well. And look how stunning these came out. Let me know what you think. For our next inspiration, we're going to use these elusive little bee cages that I found at Dollar Tree and 2 candle holders as well. I'm going to use these candle holders that are black, and we are going to embellish these a little bit. So I'm going to come in with this color from Dollar Tree. It's actually, not Dollar Tree, I'm sorry. This is Full Card, metallic in the color copper. And I'm going to add it to both of these candle holders. I was expecting this to be a color that is a lot closer to the bees that the cage has, but for some reason it came out looking more gold than copper. So don't you worry, that is fine. This is going to be 1 layer of metallic that we will add to it. And now comes the rose gold. So the rose gold is going to tie everything together. So I'm adding it right on top of that gold, but I'm doing it in such a light coat that you have both those colors coming through, having that beautiful rose gold paint over it. And I think it was the perfect color to complement the bees. So I added that color to both of the candle holders and make sure that they were nice and dry. Then I took some E6000 and I'm going to add it to the edges of each one of the candle holders. And then I place the cages right on top of them. And let them sit to dry overnight. Next day, it's time to embellish this. So we're going to go ahead and open up those cages. And they don't open all the way, guys. I don't know why. But anyway, I didn't need them to open up that much anyway. I'm taking some of these votive candles from Dollar Tree and we're going to throw them right in there. But I figured, you know what? They was looking too plain for me. You know already, I'm not done yet. So I took some of this boxwood that I got from Walmart and we're going to add individual pieces of it all along the perimeter of the cage, uniting them together at the center, just creating like a bed of greenery for my candle. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Loli D's Creations family. It is free and it means the world to me. All right, then I continued adding 2 sprigs for every little opening of the cage until I completely had the cage completely surrounded, as you see there. Then it's time to add the little candle right at the center of the bed of boxwood. And that is it. I repeated it with the other side and look how cute those look. These are stunning. These are my favorites. I left the very best for last. I hope you love them as much as I do. And here is the final reveal. I hope you enjoy these. And don't forget to tell me which one of these is your favorite, okay? You know I love to see your comments and to get your feedback on these. For this next inspiration, I will be using a wood round from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it black with some chalk paint. Then I took one of these bee skirts that I got from Dollar Tree, the toy section, and I'm going to place it in the midsection of my wood round. All right, once that I fitted my skirt on my wood round, I'm going to go ahead and cut my skirt in half. The material is pretty thin, so it was quite easy to do that. But before I cut through the elastic, I just did a little slit all around the fabric instead, and then pulled up the elastic. And then I want to leave the elastic for this project. Then I laid my fabric back down, held it taut, and glued it in the back. My friend, if you're still with me this far into the video, please leave me a big thumbs up. You can leave me your favorite emoji as well in the comments, and let me know in the comments as well, where are you watching from? I love to know how far my videos are reaching. Thank you so much. And share, because sharing is caring, and it helps my channel grow. Thank you. Once I had the fabric taut there, I just took my rotary tool once again and cut off the excess and made little slits as I did with the previous project. Then here I'm adding a small bit of hot glue at the bottom here where the seam is, just to keep everything nice and straight. Then we are flipping it over and going over and gluing all our little pieces down until they are all conformed to the edges of the wood round. Now it's time to make a hanger. To do that, I'm going to use some of these beads that I got from Easter at Dollar Tree. I am just going to thread some of these yellow beads onto the same jute cord that this wood round came with, and then reposition the hanger. Then I took these two ribbons that I got from Dollar Tree last year, and we are going to create a bow. And I took some of the black ribbon and lined up the seam between the wood round and the fabric, and a piece to cover the center of the bow. This bow evolved over time. I decided to just use the two ribbons on here and finish it off with the black ribbon, but then later on you'll see how I change it. For now, I'm going to just line the threshold between the fabric and the wood round with this black ribbon, tucking it down on the back with some hot glue. Once I flipped it over, I put the bow right on top of the board, and I liked what it looked like, but I was like, I don't know, I was feeling extra, so I decided to put black ribbon over this one too. I don't know, guys, I was just feeling extra. Let me know in the comments if you would just have left it the way it is, or if you're gonna go extra like me and just create a third layer to this bow. As I look back, I like it both ways, so I'm not sure. I might go back and make another one. Who knows? Then I took another one of those home signs, painted it white as well, and we are going to glue it right there at the center, and we are stopping here with this one. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this one. I'm debating whether or not to also add a bee. Here's the next inspiration. Let's start with this glass base from Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and use also some of this rope as well, but I'm going to use this half first that I had left over from another DIY. Using some hot glue, I'm going to start gluing it on the very base of the vase. And I'm doing it here standing up to make sure that I am not gluing the rope a little bit too far up, in which things will be unstable. So here I'm just making sure to do it on here so everything is nice and even and the vase is sitting correctly on the tabletop. Once I got to the end of the rope, I'm going to start the next rope where the other one ended. And what I did was I just cut it very straight and then put all the bristles together. They have it nice and flat, so it has a nice seamless transition from one rope to the other. And I continued winding it up until I got all the way to the top. Here at the very top, I'm going to add hot glue a little bit closer inward from on top of the rope, where the rope and the base meet together. And I went all the way around until you no longer can see the edge of the glass. Once I got there, I'm going to go ahead and cut the rope, but I'm going to cut it towards the bottom of the rope in an angle upward. That way I have a nice seamless look at the end here. Just makes everything look nice and level. And I'm just going to show the add glue right there at the edges to make sure that that rope stays together and it has a nice seamless hold as well. And this is what we got so far. I'm going to take my lighter and I'm going to go ahead and cinch up all those little hairs from the rope until this is nice and clean. Then I'm going to go ahead and smack it around a little bit just to remove all the excess little pieces that still stay stuck onto the surface. And then I'm going to take the remainder of the rope. I'm going to cut it nice and straight as I did before. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit out of angle here, but I'm making sure I add a little bit of hot glue in between all the bristles, then putting them together right there so they're nice and formed, and then cutting it nice and straight so I'm able to unite two edges seamlessly. So what I did to this side here, I'm going to do to another side as well. Once I cut the piece to be the opening to my beehive, I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to one of the edges, and I'm going to hold them together, trying to keep them as equal as possible, as even with each other as possible, so it looks like a round or a circle, and you can barely tell where it was united together. Once it was nicely formed, I'm going to come in with some of this black paint from Anita's and completely cover that rope. Now it's time to go ahead and attach it to my beehive. So I'm going to just measure it to see exactly where I want it. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to attach it to the front. My friends, if you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. Okay, now I'm going to add some more of the black paint to that opening of the beehive. I'm just using a generous amount of paint right there. I'm just using a brush. I'm going to make sure to get it in between every single nook and cranny of the rope. Once it's dried, I'm coming in with some of this hot glue. It's gold hot glue from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to add it all around the opening of the beehive. I just want this to look as if it's honey just dripping out of the hive. So I'm just trying to just let it like fall where it wants to, so it looks nice and natural. So I added it mostly to the bottom. And then I'm going to also go around the entire opening of the beehive. But first, I'm going to add one of these little bees to that section right there before the hot glue dries. Then I'm adding more hot glue around the circumference or the perimeter of the opening as well. And now it's time to add some more little bees here and there. I'm just figuring out exactly where to put them, and I decided to put one right there. I'm adding hot glue to glue them on. These come with little puffy pieces underneath, but I'm deciding to add hot glue because it doesn't always have the same hold. And I didn't remove it either because I wanted them to be a little bit raised off the surface. Then I decided to use some of these little sunflowers that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to go ahead and cut them off their stems. And I'm going to add this one at the very top of the hive. And I'm gluing it using a little bit of hot glue. If you enjoyed this video so far, I would really love it for you to join the family and subscribe. My goal is to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of this month. Please help me achieve my goal. Thank you. All right, guys. So here I'm taking a smaller of those little paper sunflowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm adding it a little bit further down from the bigger one. And I'm going to continue to do this all the way down, and I'm going to be slanting each one of the flowers a little bit further out until I go completely around the opening of the beehive and all the way down to the base of the vase. But in the midst of it, I decided to add some leaves as well. So I'm just adding some leftover leaves that I have from my previous DIY. This is just from that little garland piece that you see there. I'm just going to add some of the leaves towards the back section of the biggest sunflower, just to add a little bit more interest to it. And this is how we're looking like so far. And back to the sunflowers, I continue gluing them all the way down until I got to the base of the vase. Then I added some sunflowers into the vase. I got these from Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance 90% off, so I actually paid $1 for them instead of $10.99. And look how beautiful this turned out. My inspiration for this piece is here from this Southern Girl can, and this is her version. It came out stunning. And here is my version. I hope you like it. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. And then I'm going to use one of these eggs that I had left over from Easter, and I'm going to use some of this rope as well. I actually ended up using 1.5 bundles of rope. I started by removing the tape that was at the edge of that rope, and I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue in between all the bristles right there, and then I'm twisting the rope in the same direction in which it is twisted naturally, and I'm going to seal the end and then cut off any excess. Then I'm going to just go ahead and loop the end against itself on here, making it nice and tight so I can use this at the very top of my egg. I added some hot glue at the top to hold it in place, and then I kept wrapping it using hot glue in every single time that I went around, making sure to leave no spaces in between the rope. And I continued doing this until I wrap the egg 2/3 of the way down. At this point, I ran out of rope, so I'm going to start a new one by removing the tape, adding some hot glue, and making the edge nice and flat. I'm going to start right against where the last rope ended. Once I got it to this area right here in which the egg started tipping down again, there's where I stopped. So I'm going to take my scissors, go ahead and cut off that excess piece of cord, and we are going to tack it down. Using a metal ruler from Dollar Tree, I'm marking off where I need to cut off the excess egg. And then I came in with my X-Acto knife and using that pattern, and I just went over and cut it that section, and then came back in with the metal ruler one more time to completely cut it off. And this is how it's looking so far. Then I'm going to take one of these rings that I got from Dollar Tree, and I painted it black. Then we are going to attach the ring to the bottom section of the beehive. But first, I had to burn off the fuzzies. And then we are going to glue that ring to the bottom section of the beehive. Now it's time to color in the inside, and I just added some more of that black paint and put it right through there. I should have really left the ring its natural color, but I don't know. For some reason, I wanted to make it black. Then I took some felt from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and cover the bottom of my beehive using that. I want to take a quick moment to say thank you to my subscribers for subscribing, commenting, liking, sharing. All these things help me tremendously. They help my channel grow, and I appreciate you very much for them. And if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and join the Loli D's Creations family. It is free, and it means the world to me. Well guys, as you see there, I just trim off the excess using my scissors. I use this scissors and my detail scissors until you no longer can see the felt from the size of the hive. Now here comes my favorite part. It's time to embellish this. So I'm trying to decide exactly what I'm going to use. So I decided to use one of these sunflower flowers from Dollar Tree, and we are going to glue this on the very top of the beehive. Then I took some of the smaller ones, and I'm going to go ahead and add it a bit lower than the bigger sunflower. If you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Sharing is caring, and it helped me share my content with even more people. Now it's time to add some bees. I'm just going to add some hot glue to the back of the bees and add them in different positions. I'm going to add this one right underneath the flowers. I'm going to do another one right at the opening at the beehive, and we're going to go ahead and put one on the other side to eliminate some of that negative space on the other side of the beehive. And look how cute this has turned out. This is my inspiration piece. It was done by Robin from Craft Unleashed by Robin.
Make sure to check out her channel. She is so talented. And here it is, mine all completed. Let me know what you think. Let's go with the next inspiration. This next project was inspired by Krista from Krista's Crafty Life. And this is the project that she made. I found this so clever and I wanted to do something with stencils. For my project, I'm also using the hexagon that she used, but I painted the frame using this maize color from Waverly. I then took the stencil that I got from Temu and I'm going to go ahead and place it right on there. I'm going to place it towards the bottom to make sure that those wings fit nicely in there. And I'm just going to secure this in place with a piece of tape. Then using some white paint and a dauber, I'm going to go ahead and stencil this bee right onto that black surface. And this is the moment of truth. It came out okay. There were places where I had to scrape off any excess paint that kind of bleed through. I just scraped it off with the edge of a skewer. And any places in which there were any gaps, I filled it in with a small paintbrush. And look how cute that's looking already. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to use the stencil that I got from Temu, and we're going to position it over that frame. I made sure to tape it down before going over it with some of this rich black paint from Volkart. As I was done with one section, I was very careful to remove the stencil very carefully and reposition it, trying to match up the little hexagons into each other until I completely covered the entire frame. Then I took some of this honeycomb ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm going to do a crisscross effect as you see right there. I'm going to scrunch it in the middle and I'm going to use a little piece of wire to wrap around the middle there to cinch it in place. And I'm making sure to lead the wire towards the top of the bow. Then I repeated the same process with another piece of ribbon that has sunflowers on Dollar Tree, and now I am attaching it to the other bow using the wire that I have left in the front. Now I'm just making sure that it's nice and tight, and then we are going to flip that to the outside and dovetail both of our ends. As I dovetailed my ends, it's like just going ahead and folded it in half longwards and cut a upward triangle to have like a fishtail look to my ribbons. Then we're going to attach it to the top portion right there with some hot glue. And that is it for this one. Nope, never mind. I'm going to complete it with a little bee in the middle of the bow. And now we are done. And let me know what you think about this piece. And here we go with the final reveal. As always, don't forget to let me know which one of these is your favorite and if there's anything different that you will do. And if you plan to recreate it, please let me know as well and send me some pictures. I would love to see them.
DIY number 1. For this project, I'm going to use one of these little ceramic kettles, or I don't know, water can? Yeah, water can from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to go ahead and paint it with this maize color from Waverly. I'm going to give it a full coat using this color. Then I'm going to go ahead and take some of my moss color paint from Waverly, and I'm going to color in the little leaves on the flower that is in the front of this can. Once the leaves have dried, I'm gonna come in with some white paint. I'm using some paint and primer from Decor to do this. And I repeated this process with all of the flowers on this can. My friend, if you enjoyed this video so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. After I touched up with yellow in between the petals, I took some of these little beads that I got from Amazon, and put them in different sections of the water can. Friends, if you enjoyed this video so far, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and click that like button so YouTube knows that you're enjoying my content and it shows it to more people. And if you really enjoy my content, go ahead and subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. Friends, I had no rhyme or reason where to put the bees. I just put them, as random as possible, just so they look like it's just crawling on the water can. Once I was satisfied, I am done. Look at this, guys. Let me know how you like it. I think it's so adorable. DIY number 2. For this project, I'm going to use this little ceramic base, also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm painting it with my Maze Waverly paint. Then I'm going to go ahead and come in with the same white that I used for the previous DIY, my Black & Decker satin color, and I'm going to just fill in the petals of each one of the little flowers that come in this jar. And make sure to leave the center of the flower on my Maze color. To complete this flower, I took my moss color from Waverly and I'm painting in the leaf and the little stem of the flower. Once my entire vase was painted and dry, I'm coming in with some of this floral foam from the Dollar Tree and I'm placing it into my little jar. I'm going to take one of these dowel rods. I got these from Walmart. For some reason, I couldn't find dowel rods in any of my Dollar Trees. Are you guys experiencing shortage on that as well? Let me know in the comment section, please. So once I cut one of those dowel rods to the desired height, I'm going to go ahead and take one of those floral balls and pierce my stem or my stem, or we can say a dowel rod onto it. And I'm going to go ahead and take some hot glue and glue on some floral moss to the entire thing. Just be very careful here so you don't burn yourself. Friends, I want to take the time to thank you for clicking on my video. I really appreciate your support. And if you're go ahead and subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. Once the ball was completely covered, I just took my scissors and gave it a quick little haircut so everything looked nice and neat. In the midst of all of this, my dowel rod became loose, so I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue and put it back in the hole so everything is nice and steady. Then I'm putting it into my vase, but it was a little too high. This happens to me a lot, guys. I don't know why. But anyway, I'd rather be too big and be able to cut it down than too small and having to redo it, right? Anyway, I cut off a piece and now it is a perfect height. I'm going to go ahead and secure it with a bit of hot glue and put it right back in. Then I'm going to come in with some of these flowers from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut the flowers off the stems and I'm going to be adding them onto my little topiary. Now that the flowers are all done, I'm going to come in with some of the beads, the bee beads, and I'm going to add them all over the topiary as well. And this is how it's looking so far. Next, I just took some floral moss and I'm going to add it to the bottom to cover my floral foam, and that is it. What do you think of this cute little thing? DIY number 2. For this project, I'm going to use one of these hexagons from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it using my maize color from Waverly. Yes, Waverly. I painted the front, the sides, and you should do the back. I forgot to do the back here, but I will go back and do that later on. So I just give it 2 coats of that. Then I'm coming in with this stencil that I got from Temu, and I'm going to go ahead and just tape it right on there to secure it in place. And then I'm going to come in with my same color, my maize color, and I'm going to dabble it on just to avoid any kind of bleed through for the next color. Once that was completed, I'm coming in with another dauber with my black folk art paint, and I'm going to go ahead and stipple it on to transfer my image onto this surface.
I made sure to stipple every little nook and cranny to make sure that I had a nice and crisp picture, and then I went over and removed my stencil to reveal a very nice and crisp picture. Then I took the dauber and I'm going to distress or do a heavy distressing really of the corners. I just wanted that yellow to show through, and then I'm adding some of the beads on top of it, just crawling around in the top. And here it is all complete. Let me know what you think. I absolutely love it. DIY number 4. For this one, I'm going to use one of these medallions from the Dollar Tree and 2 packs of these beads from the Dollar Tree as well, and a pack of black beads from the Dollar Tree, and I couldn't remember here. Oh yes, some jute cord. The first thing that I did is remove all of the yellow beads from each one of the packs. Those are the only ones that I'll be using from those. And once I had them all out, I'm going to go ahead and take my, what do you call it? My jute cord. And I'm going to start threading them into my jute cord. I started with threading 3 first. My thought was 3 of the yellow and 1 of the black. But then I changed my mind, so I started doing only 2 of my yellow and 1 of the black. And what I did to do that was just take a bit of hot glue and put it on the tip of my jute cord and make sure that it was nice and stiff, so I was able to thread the beads through it. And I just continued doing that until I ran out of yellow beads pretty much. Then I took the medallion and I'm going to go ahead and remove the little metal that it comes with, and I'm going to thread my jute cord through it and tie a double knot, making sure that it's nice and knotted at the center there at the medallion, so I'm able to put the bead right on top. Anytime I do a double knot, I always like to add a dab of hot glue on it to make sure that it's nice and secure. And I'm just gonna go ahead and trim off the excess jute cord. And then I make sure to position the bead exactly on top of the knot, and then I put a little dab of hot glue and make sure that that's right on top, and so it looks nice and clean and the bead hides the knot. Now that this end is taken care of, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the jute cord from the pile there, and I'm going to work on creating a tassel. But first I wanted to add some more. I wanted to finish off my yellow beads, so I just threaded the same way, 2 yellow, 1 black, and then I'm going to start working on creating my tassel. So I had very little of my jute cord left, so I just took it off of my dispenser, and I'm just going to wrap it around my fingers a few times until I finish off the entire spool, and this is going to be my tassel. While I'm wrapping, I'm trying to make sure that the length of my jute cord are all the same, and then I'm going to take the end, create a loop, and then I'm going to
put the end of my jute cord through that loop in order to create a nice knot to secure my tassel in place. Then I'm stretching it out, making sure that it's, a nice length. And then I'm going to go over and tie my beaded garland onto the tassel, or the tassel onto the beaded garland, either way. I just tied together the little piece that I had on the tassel that I created a loop with, and the remainder of the cord that was on the garland together on a double knot like you see right there. And then I did another knot on the other direction and cut off the excess. And now I'm going to go ahead and create my little tassel top. I just took a piece of jute cord and I'm tying it at the top, and then I'm going to wrap around it a few times until it creates a nice little topping. When I get towards the end of my wrapping, I just create a small loop and I thread that twine onto that loop. Make sure that stretch it nicely so everything is nice and tight, and then I go ahead and add a little dab of hot glue as well. Then I cut the ends, making sure to do it as straight as possible. Fluff my ends, and then I'm just gonna give it a little haircut. I wanna make sure that everything is even, and then I'm gonna just trim the edges there. And this is how it's looking so far, but already I'm not done yet. I need to make this a little bit better. So I just wanted to chart the jute cord a little bit. I just added some fire to it, just giving it that look and burning off all the little straggly ends. And I did the same thing with that piece of jute cord that you can see tied onto the medallion. I removed the stickers from the back, and just like that, we are done. I truly love this piece as well. Let me know what you think. And last but not least, DIY number 5. For this one, I'm gonna use one of these little plantas that I got at the Dollar Tree. I got this doing a trip that I did to North Carolina. Never got it in Jersey. And I'm going to just go ahead and take some Mexican tape, and I'm gonna tape off the top section of the planter. Once I got everything nicely and leveled, I'm gonna take some of my black folk art paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint that top section, including the top rim of the little planter. Once I was done with that coat, I just dried it with my heat gun, and I went over and did a quick little, no, actually I didn't do another coat. I taped off my paint because this paint really covers well, guys. I'm just going to tape off, trying to do the same line of where the other one ended, so I didn't mix my colors. I'm going to do another stripe in the middle with a different color. So I'm going to go ahead and tape off the bottom as well, trying to make it as even as possible. And I'm going to use my maize color from Waverly, and I'm going to completely cover this part. The yellow was harder to cover the gray, so I ended up doing 3 coats of maize, drying with my heat gun in between coats. Once I was happy with the depth of my color, I'm just removing the tape. But guys, look at this. Oh my goodness. I guess a couple spots were not completely dry, so my black got a little messed up, but nothing that we can't fix. I just came in with a small brush and a very steady hand, and I just went over those places, making sure not to mess up my lines. Then once that was dry, I'm going to come in with some of these beads that I got. These I got from Amazon. They are smaller than the ones that the Dollar Tree carries, and I got a little bit more than that the Dollar Tree carries as well. And I just put them in different places on the flower itself and on the vase, and this is what it's looking like so far. Let me know what you think. Isn't it cute or what? I love this. There it is on its glory. I hope you like it. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite.
And here is the first piece that gave me inspiration. This is from the Crafty Beach. I have this piece on my stash, so I said, you know what? I can make something cool with my own twist, just like this. So I got that up from my stash, and I'm going to first start with this hexagon piece from the Dollar Tree, and oops, I'm going to go ahead and paint it with my full card chalk paint and let it dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and come in with my yellow apple darrow paint and paint the honeycomb on this side. The color on this paint is so vibrant that I only had to do just one coat. Then I painted the bee with my Black & Decker paint and primer in the color white. And then once that dried, I'm going to come in with my full card rich black chalk paint and a very tiny detailed brush, and I'm going to outline the outside of each one of the wings. And using the same paint, I'm going to go ahead and cover both my antennas and its feet. When I get to the portion that is closest to the body, I make sure to bring the leg in a bit to make sure to maintain that cinch figure that bees usually have. You know, they have a little waist there. Now I came in with my maize color from Waverly, and I'm going to go ahead and cover the body of the bee. I used a different yellow here because I wanted this to be quite separate from the honeycomb. And I made sure to give it 2 coats. Now I'm coming in with my Artisa paint pen, and I am drawing in, you know, the little veins that you see in insects' wings. I'm just winging it, trying to use from memory. And I think it turned out pretty good. This is sped up. I just took my time, and, you know, I got it on the first try. Lucky me. Now I'm going to go ahead and start adding my lines onto the yellow. So I first gave it a little butt, a very tiny little butt there. And then now I'm creating smaller lines, and I'm, you know, trying to space them up in different sizes. I didn't want it to be all the lines, you know, the same, yellow, black, yellow, black, yellow, black. So I'm trying different ways of doing this. And I'm trying to add that black on the portions where the wings are, you know, to give that 3D effect of the bee. And here I'm just adding a little head. I just thought I needed to have, you know, a little crown there as the head. I just traced it on there and then just filled in the middle there, and I just added small other little places in other spots there. You see there, some lines are smaller than others, and now I gave it 2 eyes. Look how cute that turned out, and I love how this pops. So I'm bringing it back onto the hexagon that I painted at first, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this using some hot wood glue. I added the hot glue on all of the corners of the hexagon there. I just put little portions on there, and, you know, just being very careful not to burn myself on that last one because it's very close to my fingers. And then making sure that I had the perfect placement. Then I just dropped it when I was happy with it, and it was a little bit warped, my bottom piece, so I just held it in place until everything's set. Now we're gonna come in with some of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I found it, guys, by miracle. I was so happy I found this. And I'm going to go ahead and just create one of my regular awareness bows with the 2 little thingies, and you cinch it in the middle and you tie it in the middle kind of bow. So I did that. I dovetailed the ends of my bow, and we are gonna go ahead and position this onto that reed form. Or I don't know, is this a sign? Is it a reed? I don't know. I feel like it could be, you know, a door hanger, or you can use it on your walls. But either way, I was here playing with the placement. Then I figured, you know what? No, I like it better right there on top of the honeycomb. So I glued it right on there. Then I took one of these bees from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it right on top of that. But then I'm like, you know what? It looks cute, but I just wanted more, you know? I'm not done yet. So I'm going to go ahead and take some white paint and completely distress the edges of this piece just to add a little bit more element of white. I just wanted to, I don't know, give this a little bit more character and, you know, highlight that board as well. And here it's looking so far. But again, I'm not done yet. I'm going to go ahead and bring some more ribbon to this. I didn't like, you know, that one layer like that, so I removed my bee using a little bit of heat, and then I came in with the second bow of buffalo check, put it on top of my original bow, and then placed the bee on top of that, and pow, that was the look I was going for. I loved it, and I love it. I think I might keep this one. I don't know, guys, what do you think?
Let me know in the comments. But wait, we have to create something to hang this with, right? So let's go ahead and use some jute cord. And I just added a bit of hot glue on top of it, and then, you know, made it into a little needle. And then I'm coming in with some beads from the Dollar Tree. I'm using white and black for this. I believe I did one of each, one black, one white, one black, one white. But here I wanted this to be like just one strand going up. So what I did is I drilled my beads in to the jute cord like this, you see, until the size that I wanted. Then I created a knot at the top, making a loop on there as well. I left the loop at the top, knotted it, and then I'm taking that end and feeding it through the other beads. Folks, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. So now I have a little loop at the top with the beads, and then I cut it at the bottom, and I'm going to tie that onto my jute, onto my wood round, my wood hexagon in this case. And I'm just going to tie it with 3 different knots, and I'm going to add a little dab of hot glue onto the knot to avoid any kind of unraveling. Friends, if you have not done so yet, I will ask you to consider subscribing. It is free and it means the world to me. As I turned the sign over, I was like, oh man, I didn't paint the back of this. I really want this to be finished, so I went over and I painted it with some of my Folk Art Black Rich paint. And voila, we are done. Let me know what you think. I love this piece. These colors are amazing. All right, guys, my second inspiration piece came from this website called Burlap Boutique. And I really like the polka dotted look, and I remember I had my ribbon, so I'm going to go ahead and put my own twist onto this as well. I used one of these wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and bring my ribbon down, and I'm going to just start, you know, just wrapping the entire wreath form on this ribbon. I just, you know, tack down a little piece, make sure not to burn my fingers. It's easy for me to do that these days. And I'm going to just tightly, and trying to keep the same spacing, I just wrap the ribbon around the entire wreath form. And then tack down the end with a generous amount of hot glue. Then I'm coming in with this piece from the Dollar Tree. I loved it the way it was, but for this project, I wanted the part there, that green part of the shovel, to be on black. So I just came in with a small brush, and I am just going over the green on the areas where I have those raised pieces, the bee and the welcome sign. I just wanted to go ahead and come in with that small paintbrush in those areas, not to ruin those. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint the rest with the same Folk Art Rich Black paint. And here's how it's looking so far, but I need to go back and touch in that white. I first did it with a little brush, trying to stay in the lines, but I was having a hard time. You know, I had some spots in which the paint touched the black, and I had to touch up the black, and then I touched up the white, and then the black touched the white, and it was a back and forth. So eventually I came up with a technique to just go ahead and use a makeup sponge to just dab at the top, and it was a game changer. Look how crisp that is. Now it's time to set it up onto my wreath form. The first thing that I did was remove that jute cord from the shovel, and I'm going to just go ahead and place this in the best angle. I didn't want it to be just straight up, so I just placed it in a small angle, and I just add a little bit of hot glue on both the bottom and the top of the little shovel and attached it to the wreath form. Then I took some of this buffalo check ribbon that I got from Johann Fabrics. Yes, it was a Christmas clearance, and I'm just burning off the excess because it does like to unravel and fray. So I'm just burning off the end there, and here I'm trying to figure out how big I want my bow, and then I cut a piece that is big enough to serve as my bow. And voila, there's my bow. And I'm going to just go ahead and attach it right there, and attach it onto the bottom of my shovel right there. And then I attached one of these little beads from the Dollar Tree. I'm just removing the little foam piece that it comes with, and I'm going to add hot glue to the bottom of my bead and press it down right into the middle of the bow to cover up that little piece of jute cord. And then I took another bead and placed it right over the hole where the jute cord used to be. See what I did there? The jute cord used to be, and now there's a bead. The shovel still needed a little something, so I took a bead and attached it right there in the corner. Then I made some buffalo check bows, and I'm going to attach them all around the reed form. And now I'm gonna make it even more beautiful by adding some more beads onto the top of each one of the new bows. Now I'm gonna take another piece of buffalo check ribbon and I'm going to create a hanger by just gluing it in a little arch right here at the back of the wreath. But first, I need to make sure that it's in the right position. I made sure to use a combination of hot glue and gel super glue. And here it is, all complete. Let me know what you think. I don't know which one is my favorite, guys. I don't know. You guys let me know. Well, I might have saved it to last. The third and final DIY and my favorite. Here is the inspiration piece. This door hanger is from one of my favorite YouTubers, Rebecca Virginia DIY, and she made this using some stencils, but I'm going to use some amazing fabrics that I just found at Dollar Tree. And of course, I'm going to give it the lolly touch. For my door hanger, I'm going to use one of these wood rounds from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it using my white Black & Decker paint and primer, and then with apple barrel yellow. And then I'm going to distress it with some daffodil, also from apple barrel. And then I'm going to come in with some of this maize from Waverly. Also doing a heavy distressing. I just want this to have a little bit of each color. It's just, I think you just complement each other, and at the same time it gives this piece a lot of texture. And once the paint dries, I'm gonna come in with some of this burlap fabric that I got from Dollar Tree. It is bead themed, and guys, I am obsessed with it. Here I was trying to put it on, but I didn't realize, oh my God, my beads are sideways. I want my beads to be facing forward. So I cut it and then I realized it. I'm like, oh man. So now you'll see me here switch my my beads around to the proper, setting or the proper placement. So here I'm going to check exactly which way I want to cut it. And I just want this to have a little bit of help overhang. And we are going to try to iron this a little bit as well once I cut the piece that I need, because it's a bit wrinkly and it's hard to work with it this way. So folks, I love burlap, but I hate sometimes how it completely frays and in the most inopportune moments. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and attach this fabric to the root round. I just added some hot glue to all the outer section of the, well, not all of it, to the section of the wood round where the fabric was at. Just on the perimeter of it, we're going to be creating a little pocket. Once it was all attached, I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess burlap in a rounded section, and then I'm going to cut slits all on that excess there, and we are going to come in with our hot glue, flip this little puppy to its belly, and we are going to tack down all the burlap fabric, making sure that it molds really nicely to all the contours of the wood round. And here we are so far. Then I took this buffalo check ribbon and I'm going to attach it to the seam of the burlap. But wait, not yet. Let's add some flowers first. So I used one of these picks from the Dollar Tree. I got two there, but I actually ended up using just one. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off
this section, I'm going to really dissect this one, guys. So what I did is I cut the stem completely off of there. And then I'm going to cut the stem at the bottom at where that like that piece that looks like fern comes through. I'm going to cut that off, and then I'm going to cut the one stem into two smaller stems, if that makes any sense. And I repeated this process with the entire floral pick, just leaving the ferns behind. And now it's time to attach that ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and just, run a nice bead of hot glue across the edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and tuck it on the back and attach it from the back as well, making sure that it's nicely secured. And look how pretty it is already. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon from Carolina Pottery that I got last year on my trip there to North Carolina. And I'm going to go ahead and create a bow. And the bow was cute, but it was missing something. So I took a little piece of burlap ribbon, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it to the middle of the burlap bow just to tie this together and give it more of a finished look. Here I enlisted the opinion of the entire family of where to put the bow, if the top or the middle, and I already ruled at the middle, included myself. So we just glued it on there onto the buffalo check ribbon on the burlap, and now here we are creating a little hanger for this. I did not want to just put jute. I wanted this to look nice and finished, so I'm just using a combination of beads in black and yellow, and I ended up using 3 black for every 2 yellow. So 3 blacks, 2 yellows, 3 blacks, 2 yellows, and that's pretty much the same pattern that I followed until my hanger was the exact size that I wanted. And apparently I still didn't glue the bow. So here I'm going ahead and gluing the bow to the section I had mentioned before, just with a little dab of hot glue. And I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some of these. Actually, I'm going to take 2 of these little bumblebees from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to just go ahead and remove the little foam piece from the back, and I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue onto the piece there where the jute cord is showing, and I'm placing the jute cord down to get glued on as well on there. And then I am adding the bee right on top of the jute cord just to hide it and to give this a little bit more character. And I repeated the process with the other side. And then I finished the back with some craft paper. And here it is, guys, all complete. This one is my absolute favorite. Let me know what you guys think of it. Here we go with the next inspiration. I'm going to use this charger plate that I got from Dollar Tree. I went nuts when I found it. It is all honeycomb, so I thought it was be perfect for a beautiful bee theme DIY. So I'm going to paint it with the spray paint from Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to give it a total of 3 coats. Then I took some of my antique wax from Waverly, and I'm going to use a dauber. So I'm going to try to do my dauber pretty dry because I just want to accentuate the raised edges on here, or the honeycomb portion or pattern on the edges. I did this until I was completely done with this and gave it a nice rustic look. Then guess what? I took another one, another calendar piece from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to use that bee one that you see in the back, and it came from this farmhouse calendar as well from 2024. For this one, I took also the splatter guard, and I'm going to do the same process that I did with the first one to cut out a circle. Then I took a round sign from Dollar Tree from the summer section, and I'm going to go ahead and sand off the edges and make it nice and smooth. I removed the dust, cleaned it off, and stained it with my Waverly Antiques wax. Now it's time to attach it to our charger. So to do that, I'm going to use some hot glue. And I'm going to go ahead and take some of that same school glue that I got earlier from Dollar Tree and glue my calendar page on it. My friend, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe. It is free and it means the world to me. And make sure that you hit the notification bell so YouTube notifies you each time that I upload a new video. As I said, everything is free and it means the world to me. Thank you. All right, so here I'm going to go ahead and straighten out my paper the same way that I did with the first one, starting from the middle and spreading it out and smoothing it out until I get to the edges and then sealing off the edges with some extra glue. Then I took some of this rope from Dollar Tree and I'm going to use it to frame off my picture. I add a little bit of hot glue to the beginning of my rope so it wouldn't unravel. And I'm going to do the same thing here where I will be cutting it in a little while. I'm going to add some hot glue in between those threads, hold them in place until they stay put. This avoids any unraveling of the rope when you cut it. Now I'm going to glue the rope all along the edges of the wood round. Once I got to the end, I'm just going to use my scissors and cut it in a straight line. That way it's easy for both ends to have a seamless transition between the two. Just going to glue it right down there, making sure that both of the pieces of rope fit perfectly so you can barely see that they are two pieces. And I repeated the same process with another piece of rope towards the inside of the wood round. Then I'm going to take some of this cotton cord that I got from Dollar Tree and I'm going to line the border of the image. Now it's time to create a hanger. I'm going to do that by using a piece of rope. I'm just going to attach it to the back of my charger blade by adding some hot glue to it and then topping it with some more hot glue. And once I added the piece of rope and then adding a piece of masking tape over that glue while it's still wet. That just secures it in place for a little bit more longevity. If you're planning to use this as a door hanger for outside, just make sure that you use instead some E6000 or some other glue that is long lasting and is not affected by temperatures. I decided to distress this a little bit, so I'm using some of my rich paint from Folk Art to just dry brush here and there just to give it a worn look. Now it's time to create a bow. I'm going to use this variety of ribbons that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut a piece about 6 to 7 inches long for each piece. I'm going to dovetail the ends of each end of these ribbons, and then we are going to create a messy bow. Then I'm going to place all of my ribbons in a crisscross pattern as you see right there, and then I'm going to cinch it in the middle and tie it with a piece of black cord.
I fluff up my edges, making sure that my bow is nice and tidy, even though it's called a messy bow. I'm going to cut off that excess twine off, and we are done with the bow. I go ahead and I give my bow a final fluff. And once I'm happy with it, I'm going to go ahead and bring over that wood round. And it's time to add this beautiful bow to our wood round. I'm going to add it right up to the section in the middle with some hot glue. Now it's time for some greenery. I'm going to use this greenery from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 pieces of each, actually 3 pieces of each one of these. I use 3 for one side, 3 pieces of it for one side, and the other 3 for the other side. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did with the previous one, just sticking them in the underneath or on the side of the bow right there, so that bow will hide the hot glue. And I repeated the same process on the other side. And look how pretty that is. I love it. Let me know what you think. If you have enjoyed this video, please make sure that you click on the next video shown on the screen so you are able to have some more inspiration and some more on a budget ideas for your home. This is Loli. Welcome, and thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Bye.